Hey guys, Jonathan here for JamSports100 and JamSports.org. How is it going? The Subway Fresh Fit 500 is in the books, and I'm here to give you my recap. I know it's just a little late. It's not too bad. The race did get over a couple hours ago. Unfortunately, I had some other stuff to do before I could actually get around to recording this. However, I did get to watch the race, and I do want to say this. It was some really good racing. All throughout the track, I thought it was a lot of fun to watch. There was a little bit of everything. There was engine issues and some gas mileage issues and some wrecking issues, some tire issues, and of course the big thing was Jimmy Johnson. How was he gonna bounce back from the tough race that he had at Daytona and the severity of the penalties that he got in Daytona? How would he bounce back from that? Well, he bounced back quite well, and we will talk about that in the recap. Let's get to that right now, and then after the recap, we will go down, of course, the running order and take a look at the unofficial points. After this race, of course, next up for the Cup Series is Vegas. We get things kicked off really pretty early. Clint Boyer on lap 16 cuts down a tire and he hits the wall pretty good. He didn't just kiss her, he smacked her. And it would not be the first time that he did that. On lap 24, the action would get intense again. Kasey Kahne gets loose coming off the corner and did a nice job trying to save it. Almost had it saved, and it was like he overcorrected just a little. And he overcorrected just enough to nose his way into the wall. Heavy damage on the number 5 machine. And then, same lap, separate time again, Clint Boyer goes into the corner. Car won't turn, car won't turn, car won't turn. Bam! Hits the wall. Another cut tire. So, rough days for both Kasey Kahne and Clint Boyer, two guys that were big-time favorites going into the race. This afternoon, lap 60, we saw our second caution for debris. Brakes, of course, are always a big deal, really, at most racetracks, and they're a real big deal at Phoenix. However, just like at Martinsville and Bristol, like we'll see in a few weeks respectively, you can definitely overuse your brakes. And Casey Mears learned that the hard way, as Mears went to go into the corner and hit the brakes to stay down. Uh-oh, hits the brakes, goes to the floor, brakes aren't there. Uh-oh. And he did indeed slam the wall. Lap 132, a couple interesting things happened here. Jimmy Johnson had a rough time. By the way, Johnson looked extremely strong early in the race. He struggled on this configuration last year, on the new configuration. He struggled in the fall race last year. And one thing that I thought was very, very interesting that I actually thought of but did not mention, I completely forgot to mention it in my preview for this race, but Fox basically mentioned it for me, is the fact that Kasey Kahne won this race, or won the first race on the new configuration last fall, and of course then he went over to Hendrick. Jimmy Johnson struggled on the new configuration, like I had just said, last fall. And so Kasey Kahne probably gave Jimmy a little bit of help. Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knelson boys a little bit of help, and it definitely showed. Yes, Kasey struggled today, but Jimmy Johnson did not. He did, however, have a loose wheel. I believe that this was the time that it took them 3 times, 3 pit stops to get it right. Also, I have this down at the same lap. I actually did not see this wreck happen. I did see a video. I didn't see it happen live. I saw a video of it, and then I searched the internet trying to find the lap that it happened, and provided Fox Sports is right, which I'm assuming they probably are, it did happen on lap 132. A.J. Allmendinger would get loose, forcing himself to really check up to save the car. Paul Menard got in the back of him and kind of got turned, and poor Jamie McMurray just had nowhere to go. Would end up with damage. That would not be the end of issues for Jamie Mack, and we'll talk about that in a second. Jamie, during, I believe it was, I don't remember if it was green flag pit stops or not. I don't think it was. Jamie Mack led a lap. Then next time around, he came on the radio and said, "We are basically blowing up. It sounds like we're blowing up. So engine issues for Jamie Mack on lap 213. We then hit caution again on lap 228 for debris. Then we went back green for a while. David Rudman on lap 245 would then have a huge motor blow up to end his day. Interesting deal here with Tony Stewart, and this really hurt Tony for the rest of the day, the defending champion. Remember, NASCAR is going to fuel injection. You know, NASCAR, the Sprint Cup Series runs fuel injection this year. They have not done it in the past. In the past, you used to be able to shut off your engine to save fuel. Tony Stewart did attempt to do that under the caution. However, with the fuel injection, there is a system that has to be run to get the engine to fire again. Stewart could not get the engine to refire. He needed help getting to pit road. Well, when he got to pit road, they thought that maybe he wouldn't lose a lap because, you know, he'd get to pit road, he still had time to get the engine fired and get off of pit road. However, as the crew tried to fire the engine for him, it would not fire. It wouldn't, you could hear it, it was turning on, but it wouldn't completely fire to where he could go. Stewart did lose some time there. He actually got really lucky. He only lost 2 laps. He actually got really, really lucky there in that instance, because if they wouldn't have got it fired, they would have had to take him behind the wall, and they would have had to use a computer to refire the engine. So Stewart would have lost even more time instead of just losing the 2 laps that he did lose, but it still really affected his day. 57 laps to go. Carl Edwards and Carl Edwards and Ryan Newman racing hard for 6th place. Did not end well. Edwards would get a little bit loose on the bottom, get into Newman, and send Newman hard in the wall. A lot of contact. Newman, I believe, 4 top 5 Phoenix finishes coming into today. He would definitely have a hard time bouncing back from that and would not get a top 5 today. A lot of damage to the number 39 machine after that. And Carl Edwards also, it seemed like he was going to pay for the price for that too, as his fender was pretty messed up at that time. 23 laps, about 25 laps to go. Jeff Burton really started to get off the pace. The car sounded really sick, and the engine started to go sour. Now keep in mind, interesting thing here, McMurray also thought his engine was going sour, and those are ECR, Earnhardt Childress Ganassi engines. So, same engine makers there. And then with 18 laps to go, Marcus Ambrose blew up as well. Interesting fight down to the end between, basically between Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick is basically who it came down to. Harvick was very unsure about fuel as to whether or not he was going to make it. Hamlin was kind of unsure too. Harvick was catching him. Harvick was right there, and then all of a sudden, coming to take the white flag, Kevin Harvick ran out of gas. However, the gap was so big, Kevin Harvick, he ran out of gas, was able to coast his way still to a 2nd place finish. However, Denny Hamlin easily picked up the win. It would be the 18th NASCAR Sprint Cup Series win of his career, his first of the year, 2nd top 5 of the year, so he's off to a good start, which is good for him. He's been battling with a lot of frustration the last couple of years. He feels that it is his time to win a championship in the Cup Series. He's been around for a while. He's won a lot of races. He feels it is his time to win a championship. And if he keeps performing like he has been, I definitely agree. I do think that it could indeed be time. I think it's very, very interesting. I think the move with Darian Grubb being over there and now being his crew chief, and no shot at Mike Ford. Mike Ford is a great crew chief for Denny, but I really think that Darian Grubb is going to have what it takes to take Hamlin to that next level. Darian Grubb, of course, was the crew chief for Tony Stewart last year in his championship run. So basically, I mean, we saw good racing, and it was just really exciting racing. The year continues to look like it's going to be good. Excited for Las Vegas next weekend. Should be a lot of fun, and we'll see what happens. But we will indeed see what happens. Let's take a look now at how things stacked up in the race. Normally I get this stuff from NASCAR. I am getting the finish order, however, from Fox Sports. From 43rd to 1st, Michael McDowell finishing 43rd, Scott Riggs 42nd, Robbie Gordon 41st, Joe Nemechek 40th, Casey Mears 39th, Josh Wise 38th, Jay McMahon with that engine issue had some trouble there, finished 37th, David Rudman 36th, Landon Castle 35th, Casey Kane 34th, Jeff Burton 33rd, Marcus Ambrose, tough break for him, he was running well when that engine blew up. He would get a 32nd place finish, 31st for Paul Menard. Even through all of Clint Boyer's issues, he would struggle to a 30th place finish, 29th for David Stremme, 28th for David Gilliland, 27th for Brendan Gaughan, J.J. Yeley, 26th, pretty good run for me to go homer, and it really helped him in the point standings. David Reagan, 25th, J.J. of course I believe missed the Daytona 500, so he took quite a jump in the points. After that finish, like I said, 25th for David Reagan, 24th for Mike Bliss, another good run for Dave Blaney, 23rd. Finishing 2 laps down. According to this, Stewart only finished, well, yeah, he would have, so, Stewart finishing at 22nd, of course he was a couple laps down. Newman finishing 21st. Regan Smith, 20th. Good run for Travis Coapel. By the way, Tony Stewart says he only did finish 1 lap down. According to the Fox graphic that they showed in the interview, and he finished 2, so not quite sure what that. He either finished 1 or 2 laps down. Travis Coapel, 19th. Good run for him in that VK Racing car. That one is a little bit near and dear to my heart. I did graduate with some of Travis's relatives, so that is pretty cool. Travis is a great guy, and it's cool to see him run well. Adrian Allmendinger, 18th. Carl Edwards, 17th. Bobby Labonte, 16th. Kurt Busch, 15th. Dale Earnhardt Jr., 14th. Daytona 500 champion Matt Kenseth brings home a 13th place finish. 12th for Eric Almirola, 11th for Juan Pablo Montoya, who was happy just to get out of Daytona and forget about everything that happened with the jet dryer. Joey Logano finished 10th, another good run for Mark Martin. He finishes 9th, and for Michael Waltrip Racing. Jeff Gordon 8th, Martin Truex Jr. 7th, Kyle Busch 6th, Brad Keselowski 5th, Jimmy Johnson getting a 4th place finish. Good for him, good bounce back. We'll talk about where he is in the points in just a second. So he had a very strong car all day today to go through the issues that he had. He did end up, like I said, 4th, 3rd for Greg Biffle, 2nd for Kevin Harvick, who still finished out of gas, but still finished 2nd nonetheless. Of course, Genny Hamlin, like we said, getting the win, 18th win of his Sprint Cup Series career. Let's take a look now at the point standings after Phoenix, and they look like this. Denny Hamlin gains 3 spots and shoots his way up to the lead. He has a 6-point lead on Greg Biffle, who gains 1 spot up to 2nd. Kevin Harvick gains 4 spots up to 3rd. He is 8 points back. Matt Kenseth drops 3 spots down to 4th, 10 back. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Loses 3 spots back to 17th. Martin Truex Jr. gains 6 spots after his good run. He is 18 points back. Mark Martin gains 3 more spots. He's up to 7th. Also 18 back, however, he is not running the full schedule. I think he's slated to run 25 Cup races this year. Joey Logano gains 1 spot up to 8th. Kyle Busch gains 8 spots up to 9th. Joey Logano is 19 back. Kyle Busch 23 back. Carl Edwards loses 2 spots back to 10th. He is 26 points back. Bobby Labonte, 3 spots up to 11th, and he is 31 back. And the last chase-eligible driver, if the chase would happen today, would be Brad Keselowski. Of course, he had some trouble late. He had some trouble in the Daytona 500. His good run bounced him up 17 spots to 12th. Jeff Burton and Paul Menard, 2 extremely big downfalls for them. Brad Keselowski, by 37 points out of the lead, is tied with Jeff Burton, who was 13th, who dropped 8 spots after the engine issues. And also Paul Menard losing 8 spots as well after his accident. So there you go. Next up is Phoenix. Don't forget, probably about Thursday or so, come right back here, and I will have a look at the entry list, the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and the Sprint Cup Series, both race next weekend. The Truck Series is still off for a few more weeks. So probably Thursday, like I said, I will give you a look at entry lists going into Friday's practice actions and stuff. So like I said, that'll be Thursday. For all you other sports fans that are looking forward to the NBA picks, basketball picks, or college basketball picks, spring training, of course, started today. I'm not going to pick spring training games. I'm not going to start picking baseball for the beginning of the year. I'm going to watch a little bit of spring training stuff, though. Maybe talk about it a little. I didn't make basketball picks for today. Basketball picks will resume hopefully tonight. I will be making them for Monday's action. We did get our 500th win for those of you who are interested in that. All right, for all you NASCAR, but for all you guys that are just interested in NASCAR, that's going to do it for me this week, and I will see you guys next week in Vegas. I am John Lemons up for JM Sports 100 JMSports.org. I'm out.